Hello, welcome back. The Scary Patch released today, and honestly I didn't plan to record today at all. But I actually love the chapter so much. Let's just jump straight back in. Their surroundings begin to disintegrate. The flickering lights and image of Vonnegut begin to drift in space. My visual model is being hacked. Oh, is that all? Suddenly, numerous ear-piercing alarms begin to buzz in his ears. Memory deviation at 31.217%. Record erased. Oh. Listen to the fear in your heart. I used to respect that guy, but now he's just a useless tool. Establishing simulation link. Memory deviation at 30.316%. Place him on the front line. He can recall if he dies. Record erased. Establishing simulation link. By the look of it, the chief is no longer Langston. Record erased. Establishing simulation link. Establishing simulation link. Establishing simulation link. Chrome's field of vision gradually returns amid the frenzy of alarms. He suddenly finds himself before a red warning screen. It is not so much fear as it is disgust engraved in his memories. Smith had long been perfected. I brought you back as my son to make you a Smith and become the perfect me. No, it's not like that. Langston, as my son, you know what to do, don't you? I've already broken free from my shackles. You are a failure. Nothing you have ever done has surmounted to anything. It's always been like that. No, I've already gotten what matters the most. The agent will crush your teammates one by one. Those you respect will be framed and put to death, and you are powerless. Ignoring the ear-piercing noise, Chrome quietly grabs his weapon. You want to protect them? You want to protect those who are doomed to abandon you? Constructs are only seen as a convenient tool. You saw for yourself. The moment you became a construct, you became a loser. You'll never be the chief. You'll never be a true commandant. No, you're only a tool. Doubt. Undeniable doubt. This doubt has persisted in his heart over countless missions and battles, like a cobweb forming in a corner of a wall. Now this doubt has become amplified and restless by some unknown power. A bolt of lightning carrying Chrome's conviction shatters the darkness before him, silencing the cacophony. Slowly, his mind begins to stabilize. Only for warning alerts to immediately start buzzing again. Chrome's field of vision fills with contorted streaks of reverent red. A familiar pain bites at his nerves, rippling throughout his entire body. Warning, memory overload. Warning, memory overload. Warning, memory overload. You are worthless. You failed to live up to your father's expectations. How dare you even call him dad? Wait, did he ever do that? I don't remember. I feel like he wanted to, but never did. From raised his scythe at the shapeless onslaught of noise once more. Firm denial, unbearable pain. Everything seems to be ridiculing his choices again and again. The detestable but all too familiar memories stab at his fingertips. All of the nerve endings in his entire body begin to fire in rhythm. Each breath feels as if knives are carving out his bones. There's nothing at the end of the road you have chosen. With an agonizing breath, another bolt of lightning shatters the darkness and steals his conviction. The ground begins to rumble slightly as if someone is laughing nearby. Laughing. As long as I disable my visual and audio models, there's no way for you to hack me. Even though intuition is guiding his judgment, Crumb is resolute in his decision. Decision? The ground begins to rumble again, as if the person laughing had taken a few steps closer. Closer, my god. An invisible coercive force quickly approaches from the left. As for what the force is, it is the gust of wind from a blade. Oh. Crumb's side collides with metal. The violent impact sends vibration through his palm, numbing his knuckles. With his usual resilience, Crumb would typically be unfazed by the pain from such intense vibrations. However, with his visual and audio models disabled, there was only one method to maintain his agility in combat. Improve the sensitivity of all modules in his perception cluster, even if it will cause severe pain. No, pain is necessary to maintain mind stability with his visual and audio models disabled. Does it really work like that? Gusts of frigid wind attack from the left and right. Crumb turns to dodge the attack from the left while using his scythe to block the blade approaching from the right. Got you. Right as Crumb finds an opening, he charges his scythe with lightning and strikes in the direction of the wind. Bullseye. Even though he has clearly landed a blow, there is no sense of struggle or pain typical of being stabbed. Instead, the enemy remains motionless like a stalwart wall. A wall? Is this a defense barrier? Someone answers from the point of impact. Despite being unable to hear what is said, he can sense a subtle vibration from the sound. He wants to retreat, but his weapon is held in place by a mysterious force. Suddenly, Crumb feels a crushing sensation of being choked. Actually, now that I think about it, what happened to Kami and Wangshi? Aren't they still there? He feels as if his body is being corrupted by the punishing virus, which intensifies the magnitude of pain as if he's being skinned alive. Still, Crumb continues to struggle alone in the darkness. But you are not alone. What happened to them? I can't. He grips his weapon tightly. Even though he feels the searing pain of his broken knuckles, he has lost all perception of his hands. Regaining control of his weapon, Crumb unleashes an all-out attack at the enemy, choking him. Right as the blade connects with the enemy, the figure releases Crumb and takes several steps back. Although he escapes the enemy's vice grip, Crumb is temporarily stun-locked due to the agonizing pain and corruption. Just before he senses the subtle vibration of the opponent's footsteps approaching again, someone with high punishing corruption quickly ambushes the enemy from behind. How can you even tell that? I mean, even if your sensitivity is set to 1000%, you could not actually feel someone else being attacked. Like, how would you notice that? Giving himself no time to catch his breath, Crumb uses this opportunity to turn and search for his teammates. Yeah, good idea. What if you attack them instead? Kamui, Wangshi. He still remembers their general position before blacking out. After fumbling along his memory for a few steps, a quivering breath brushes against his broken fingertips on the left. Who's there? Wangshi? Feeling his face, Crumb is vaguely able to recognize the contour of Wangshi's face. What happened? Crumb grabs his shoulders and senses Wangshi trying to open the button-up pocket of his tactical bag. What is Wangshi seeing? Drowning in the hallucination, Crumb no longer is able to exert control over his body. Still, he struggles to take out the content of his carrying bag. Perhaps it will be of some use to Wangshi. What are you guys doing? Crumb fumbles to help him open the intricate series of buttons on his carrying bag. If they get out of here alive, Crumb is going to request an easier bag to open for Wangshi first thing. Priorities. Just as this trivial thought comes to mind, the vibrations from the two people fighting gradually disappear. Instead, they are replaced by an earthquake-like rumble from underneath the lift. The individual who had ambushed the enemy from behind approaches him, then stops nearby. Do you have some sort of radar still activated? I'm so confused. Kamu? The rumbling from below grows in intensity. Even if there's still risk of being hacked, Chrome does not hesitate to activate the previously disabled modules. With vision and hearing gradually restored, Chrome looks around to see Kami, who normally has a sunny disposition, wearing a look of agonizing pain. Oh. True. Koya! Koya! Kami, you damn troglodyte. Wake the hell up! Seeing that Kami is still unconscious, Kami slams his fist on his chest. Still not fully awake, Kami gives him a swift kick in the pants. Just now waking up, Wangshi sits up feebly and looks at Kami anxiously. He's still grasping an empty syringe with trembling hands, which he had just taken out of the open carrying bag. Does he have any painful memories? Wake up, damn it! Kami is shaken and waked by Kamo. He rubs his dizzy eyes, leaving traces of pain on his face. Koya. Seeing the dark waterway in front of him, Kami realizes that he was hallucinating just now. He stands up and gives a sheer, untimely smile to Kamo, who returns the look with a grimace. When did you get here? My god, Kamo really just snaps all out like that. Just now, you and Wangshi were lying on the ground. Oh, I don't know why, but I found myself trapped playing a level 1. I was stuck on for a month. Sure, Kami. Is that what happened to you guys too? The agent hacked our audio and visual modules. Phew, at least it wasn't real. But after reflecting on his hallucination, his smile quickly fades. No, it was. Seeing Kami wake up, Chrome breathes a heavy sigh of relief, then adjusts the sensitivity of his perception module back to normal. Even still, the trauma and pain he experienced in the dark had far exceeded the limit of what most people could endure. Wait, where's that guy? They look around to see no sign of Vonnegut. Beneath the floor, the sound of rumbling is like a countdown to impending death. Suddenly, immense pressure causes a crack to form in the floor as the red tide spews out from within. Well, that's not good. Looks like that wasn't the last of the red tide. It's more diluted than before, but there's still a ton of it. We need to get out of here. The four of them quickly run to the exit, but at this speed, sooner or later they will be surrounded by the red tide, and the hydro creatures occupying the waterway. Kamu, get Wangshi and Kami out of here. What's the big idea? I'll try and hold off the red tide to buy you all some time. How do you intend to stop water? Let me help you. Not like the red tide will do anything to me. On the way here I found some switches that opened up some secret passages. It'll be easier if I just show you. Captain! Forget it, you won't listen anyway. Wangshi, let's go clear the way. Alright, but don't wait up for us. Relax, Wangshi, let's go. Alright. Be sure to come back in one piece. Oops. I just came up from below. The red tide over there is not enough to flood the whole underground waterway. But you don't need so many red tides to cook constructs. Get out of here. Even if it isn't flooded, the concentration of punishing here is high enough to make us corrupted. There are intercepted hydro creatures everywhere. Fall back while fighting. Where to? You are not only injured but also corrupted. I wish Wangshi were here. Damn, there's not even time for repairs. Chrome just ignoring the toy. Nothing to say, let's just go. I am not sure where I am going. What is that? Does that say me something? Does it tell me anything? The concentration of punishing is still rising. You better stay away from me too, or you'll get worse. You're literally next to me. There you go again. Go to the upper level from the complicated region. I wouldn't say it's that complicated. Why are you coming to me, Cabo? Oh, there was one missing. What the heck is Camo doing? Corruption level at 30%. Oi, oi, oi. That's not the good. Corruption at 67%. Kami appearing out of nowhere, I saw that. The red tide is about to flood here. Hurry up, go up the ladder to the upper floor. No, you go first. Don't you hear that? A mass of hydro creatures are coming. One of us should be left behind to take care of it. If these get through, none of us will be able to get out. Come on. Take care, meet us soon. No response. Camry spots a faint smile on Chrome's face before Chrome completely loses consciousness. Climbing the ladder, the ground underfoot begins to rumble slightly. The source of the rumbling not only comes from Kamo fighting against the enemy down below, but also from the Hydro-Tide rushing toward Chrome from above. From above? Facing the surging wave of Hydro creatures. Oh, you don't mean the red tide, but the literal tide of... okay. Chrome is forced to defend his position in front of the ladder. Even if the corruption of his realm reaches critical mass, he will still continue to fight. However, this is no foolhardy self-sacrifice. Rather, sensing that the level of corruption is no longer rising, he detects something about a strange anomaly. I'll take a page out of your playbook. Whose? As long as he can hold on a little longer and intercept the enemies rushing toward him, his determination might just be able to pull off such a Hail Mary. Even then, he can barely keep such an unspeakable plan suppressed in the bottom of his heart. Chrome takes a step forward. His scythe, enveloped in lightning, slashes the Hydro creatures, smashing wave after wave into pieces. But right as he catches a glimpse of victory, he hears the sound of ominous footsteps slowly approaching. I'm sure you'll think it's a miracle if you made it out of here alive. Are you still choosing to sacrifice yourself to save your comrades? Chrome remains silent. He stands firmly and continues to block the oncoming wave of Hydro creatures. Interesting. The Hydro creatures in front of him suddenly halt their attacks as if they had received a signal. Most leaders would shoulder immense weight. They rise fast and fall even harder. Seems you are no different. But I won't let that day come. Faced with Chrome's conviction, Vonnegut quietly walks forward. Electric currents of punishing wires hiss beneath his feet like raging waves, as if to tear the narrow space apart. Show me everything you've got. Countless crimson tendrils leap out from the ground and strike, all targeting Chrome's inward device. Chrome remains undaunted. He dodges the attack and rushes toward Vonnegut. Just as he is about to reach his opponent, he picks up the motionless remains of a nearby Hydro creature with a scythe as a shield. Blocking the attack, the golden lightning from his scythe unleashes a thunderclap. I am now noticing the mention of golden lightning, because this normal lightning is blue. Chrome strikes Vonnegut's defense barrier with all of his might. You've already tried using brute force. Think again. Chrome grips his scythe tightly, condensing all of the lightning into the tip of his blade. With the scorching heat of a meteor strike, he smashes Vonnegut's barrier once more. It's not like we smashed it before, but I get it. Following a slight cracking sound, the tip of the scythe finally manages to penetrate the seemingly indestructible defense barrier. You can still maintain consciousness at this level of corruption. You are indeed a splendid seed. He looks at the weapon puncturing his defense barrier and nods in faint appreciation. What you lack is not courage, ingenuity or skill, but pure and raw power. As I've said before, the speed of humanity's technology progress can ensure victory. But the potential and progress you have shown me, I'll give you some more time to blossom. He places his hands behind his back and deactivates the punctured defense barrier. He takes a step back, noticing Chrome at his limit. As a sign of respect for your bravery, I'll call them off your comrades. Right as Vonnegut finishes speaking, the Hydro creatures within the waterway quickly recede like the tide. One more thing. The transport craft you flew in on has been constantly sending eyes in search of you. The hell? They are no match for corruption, but it doesn't mean they will stop recording. If the investigators recover them, that could spell trouble in the future. So I've had Cinderella take care of the transport craft for you. She said that there were some other issues, but that doesn't concern us, so Cinderella didn't get involved. Is your loyalty really worth it? Light and darkness coexist. Don't you share a similar view? Faced with Fromm's answer, Vonnegut simply smiles and says nothing more. He turns and walks into the dark tunnel. Climbing up along the corroded floor, Camus squeezes through a half-collapsed hole. You're back. Everything okay? Seeing Camus return, Chrome wants to stand up, but the split legs of his frame make him unable to maintain balance. Even a cursory glance shows that his frame is seriously corrupted and damaged. I was going to ask you that. Take a good look at yourself. I'm fine. I don't care what you say. We need to get you to a doctor. I've already tended to the captain's wounds. At least his injuries won't get any worse for the time being. Let's hurry back. There's nothing more we can do here. Alright, we're all here. Let's get going. Captain, let me carry you. No need. I can walk. Crum responds currently, but the others can tell he is struggling to hide his fatigue and that he's barely holding on. I know I said to stay awake, but I didn't say you had to stay moving. Exactly. Wangxi said your wounds will get worse if you keep at it. We need to get you back as soon as possible. Are you still here because of me? There's only one transport craft back. The one that brought you here is gone. If we left you here, you might be attacked by that agent again. Can we? Grab the captain and let's go. He called him captain. No. You got it. Crum tries to refuse, but Kami throws him over his shoulder without much resistance. Unable to move due to his serious injuries, Crum has no choice but to give up the struggle. Full speed ahead. After Strikehawk evacuates, two shadowy figures emerge from the scorched ruins. Can he really make it back with those injuries? I've done what I can to stop his punishing concentration from rising past the point of no return. He should be able to make it back safely to Babylonia. The figure in the shadows uttered a soft, cheerful laugh. Laugh, my god. Even if he manages to hold out, it will take him over a month for his frame to recover. Why this special treatment? The man laughs, then points at her forehead. This is a declaration of war. I need to keep him alive so he can deliver my message to those bastards playing mind games right at my doorstep. Unsure of what this means, the girl tilts her head to decide her confusion. Oh, same. Forget it. I'm just trying to lure those snakes out of hiding again. After all, to them, only the dead stay quiet. But in the past, you did whatever you could to cover our tracks so the humans couldn't find us. But now, you're bringing them right to us? This isn't the first time we've made our presence known. We just stopped for a brief period of time. Ever since I first laid my eyes on the Red Tide, I knew that the future foretold by Asnet was within our grasp. Lions can't expect to capture an elephant merely waiting in the shade. Now's our time to go on the offensive. Not to mention, Alpha is going to stop at nothing to redirect humanity's spears away from Luna and onto me anyway. That's a confirmation I needed. Even if you kill them, the same thing will happen in the future. You could get rid of Alpha, but then Luna will just become the next ticking time bomb, and we don't know where she is. Not even you? My god. I've been collecting food to feed the Red Tide. If they're willing to send us delivery, all the better. I'm sure she will express her sincere gratitude for such a mutual beneficial victory. Are you worried about him? Yes. About who now? Relax, dear child. I've never known a human to return to Earth after arriving in Babylonia. You'll never see him again. Who now? Okay. Our priority now is your mother. I'm sure that won't be the last of them. I'll leave you to protect her. I'm needed elsewhere. The girl nods, then takes a crystal pyramid from him. Do you know what this does? Yes. The transport craft steadily enters low Earth orbit. Kamu enters the isolation chamber, where Kamu and Wangxi show signs of trepidation. Wangxi inspects Chrom's invite device again. Even though his frame was heavily damaged from battle and corruption, his invite device is relatively intact. With all this damage, even if everything goes according to plan, you're going to be out of commission for over a month. Chrome forces a nod. Feeling weak, he can only lean against the cabin wall. The dark sky outside the window makes him drowsy. Prior to their departure, Chrome cancelled the countdown for the distress call and sent the emergency evacuation request to the nearby task force, hoping that they stop their search and rescue mission and evacuate as soon as possible. If the squad encounters that agent, there will only be one outcome: death. For Chrome, he had long since grown acquainted with the word death. This is war. He recalls what his father had said to him. Death is inevitable. That is also what his father had said. As long as you are a soldier on the battlefield, your day will come. I've already applied for your transfer. Thank you for your outstanding performance during the mission. A few old memories fill Chrome's mind. Before that, he had experienced a catastrophic failure, but that had Chrome a new life. What about this time? Even if it was the worst case scenario, at least I protected everyone. True that, true that. With this feeling, Chrome recalls a thought that had flashed through his mind right before his final encounter with Vonnegut. If it wasn't the worst case scenario. If only he can hold on to an ounce of hope. If he is able to transfer into his new frame early due to the damage sustained in the battle. Since the commandant has been the only one resistant to corruption, he will be able to temporarily free the commandant to stabilize the corruption and other issues caused by mind deviation. Working alongside the commandant, Chrome will have a better chance of destroying the secret point, that secret base, than... Langston, you know what to do as my son, don't you? Gather everything that is of use, put them together, then create a perfect me. I'm going to achieve this goal my own way, Dad. But this goal, no matter how sought after it is, it cannot be his final destination. Looks like I'm going to spend a month in the Star of Life while I repair my frame. Considering all of the surveillance lately, perhaps spending a month in the Star of Life recovering will be more suitable for the opposition's plans. During his meeting with the commandant, even though he did not reveal anything to the opposition, he did give them a new target, as we'll see. Even still, Chrome has no regrets. He has to make sure of the commandant's willingness before he saves the next life. After his meeting with the commandant's willingness was without a doubt. Was it? Whether he has to become the Rat to free the commandant, or acquire the commandant's assistance, he must stay alive. He has to achieve his goal his own way. I can't let them stop me. He has to take action, even under these circumstances. I can't get a hold of his Star of Life. I wanted to see if they're still taking patients. Is there comlink down? Whoops. Is there a signal jammer? What? My mistake. Is there a signal jammer nearby? Okay. Chrome wants to ask Wangxi, but his corruption and wounds make him unable to speak. I think someone planted something next to the engine. I didn't really look at it too closely before takeoff because we were in such a hurry. It's not safe to check during flight either. Call him when we get back to base. They all nod. Silence falls over them along the rumbling of the transport craft. Grom wants to share his suspicions with everyone, but even his visions begins to fade. He does not know what might happen if he passes out here. Mongxi has not specified. But by the look on his face, it definitely would not be good. I must stay awake and leave a clue. Crom struggles to gain control over his broken finger. 8:29. He writes a simple message on the palm of his hand with the vital fluid exuding from his fingertip. Column A, number 29. This is the address for Asimov in his terminal's directory. Most of the time, Asimov is in his workshop where he cannot be reached. Only this address is able to reach him regarding top secret research. In addition, only those involved in these top secret projects know this address. If they are willing to use heavy-handed means to interfere with his plans, such as signal jammers, he has no other choice but to write this glimmer of hope on his hand. If his assumption is correct, Wang Xi and Kami will understand this clue as they check each envelope comlink. After all, they are sure to connect the dots by looking at the directory itself. But how would they know that they are searching for an entry in a directory to begin with? In order to make the number more apparent, Crom once again struggles to gain control over his fingertip. Pain, deep agonizing pain. Prior to his mission, Crom has not used pain to stay conscious for quite some time. Oh, don't even start with that. Somehow this gives Crom a season of bitter nostalgia. Steadily arriving at the predetermined landing zone, Babylonia is already shrouded in artificial night. For Crom, the imaginary moon hanging outside the window has accompanied him for countless nights at FOS College. Countless days, work, repeat, try and repeat, struggle, repeat. All to keep Langston Smith on top. But now, there was no need for such a cold, relentless pursuit of perfection. Becoming a Smith was no longer his sole pursuit. Perhaps it is a sense of familiarity that gives him a little peace of mind, or perhaps that he has already reached the limit. Crom's memory once again begins to sink into itself. We made it! Leave the transport ship so we can finally contact the Star of Life. Roger, I'll get the captain off the ship. His condition is getting worse. Carry him and keep him steady. Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. Crom wants to say that, but he cannot spit out a single word. Wait. Kamui, there's something written on the captain's hand. 8:29. That wasn't there before boarding the plane. Did he want to tell us this but couldn't? It seems that his vocalizer has been destroyed. Go to the Star of Life before looking into this. Wang Shi grabs Crom's hand and wipes it clean. Let's go. Reliable comrades, reliable friends, a real sense of security. He thinks of how fortunate he is for being the captain of Strike Hall. Hey! Before Crom falls into a coma, Kamui sees a smile on the corner of his mouth. Although it is now early morning according to human convention, there are still several personnel on the landing platform performing maintenance on transport crafts. They are somewhat surprised to see the safety hatch open halfway as a blonde figure rushes out from within. The young man, who personnel could always tell he was laughing even by looking at the back of his head, is now in a state of panic. Hey, is there a medic? Military personnel returning from Earth, turn left and proceed through the sterilization tunnel. Then you can take the regional shuttle to the ER at the Star of Life. That sounds already needlessly complicated. The staff member standing behind the right partition simply recites the regulations apathetically. Thank you. Hearing this formulaic response, Kamui remains quiet. Instead, he rushes in the direction of the sterilization tunnel with Crom lying unconscious in his arms. After seeing them disappear, the workers behind the partition get together and begin to gossip. The guy he was carrying, that wasn't one of the Smiths, was it? What the hell was their mission? I wouldn't be this surprised even if the Grey Raven's commander came back in this condition one day. And the commander is a human. But him? I want to see the look on Smith's face. Passing the evacuation corridor, Kamo runs in the sterilization tunnel with Chrome in his arms. Kamo and Wang Shi follow in close pursuit. Let's go our separate ways here. I won't be of any use to him. Hearing this, Wang Shi wants to say something to Kamo, but he keeps quiet. I'll let you know when everything is under control, don't worry. The small central purification filter rumbles in the background. Kamo looks at Kamo and Chrome in his arms. Standing among the sterilization spray, silence hangs over the group. No one knows what to say at a time like this. A prompt signals that the sterilization is complete. Kamo nods and waves goodbye. After watching Kamo leave, Wang Shi and Kamo carry Chrome to the regional shuttle. That does not sound like emergency treatment. Let's just go in a shuttle. Let's do this. Upon returning to this familiar yet disturbing place, the staff life seems to be more chaotic than what Wang Shi remembers. Due to the large-scale battle in City 075, the staff life, which had a reputation for being busy, is now a hellscape of blood and vital fluid. Before the battle even began, the staff anticipated a large number of casualties, but even as they try their best, they still cannot cope with the spreading disaster. After the Longinus arsenal destroyed most of the Red Tide, there were still mass casualties in the ruins of City 075. They cleaned up a large number of Hydra creatures, transported supplies, recovered samples, and collected data. It may have appeared insignificant compared to the achievements of the Corps personnel, but it was still equally important. Wang Shi takes Kamo through the AR's lobby via a familiar shortcut and places Chrome on a temporary maintenance table. We need... Apologies, the maintenance room is already at max capacity. Before I can even finish speaking, the staff hastily refuses him and runs over to a room where he is being called for assistance. How can there be this many wounded? Wang Shi lets contact President Hassan. Wang Shi nods. They both open their terminals and dial Hassan and Celica. No response. No response from Celica either. Is it too late in the evening? What about Asimov or the others? Most of the others are out on missions, but we can try Asimov. Both of them repeatedly call Asimov for help, but he does not pick up. After a long time, a strange face appears in front of the comlink. Celica! Hello. Celica is currently in a meeting. I can relay a message to your door if you wish. Both of them quickly explain the situation. If someone is injured, please proceed to the staff life and follow the procedure. But they are already at max capacity. In that case, wounded personnel have no choice but to wait for a vacancy. I will relay the message to Celica, but neither her nor the President can help with medical issues. I recommend you wait patiently. Are you kidding me? My response is according to protocol. I can repeat it if you'd like. You piece of... Enough. I guess we have no other choice. Wang Shi abruptly terminates the call. Seems like Hassan and Celica are tied up as well. Their comms are being rerouted. There's no point in wasting your breath. We have to think of another way. Well, if it isn't Dr. Wang Shi, I sure haven't seen you in a while. A somewhat familiar face appears in the corner. You're still here. Well, there's no other place for me to go now, is there? Anyway, I have a frame that needs maintenance. Is there space? Can't you tell? The doctor laughs awkwardly. It doesn't have to be in the maintenance room. He just needs a matching action module and vital fluid dialysis. Are you going to operate? She hurries to the temporary maintenance table and checks the stock for Chrome's model. All that's left is a hand module, but you can replace it without a maintenance room. After all, it's not as simple as just replacing the hand. Did you check the reserves? The Star of Life used to also keep an emergency place on hand, those. This is all we have. We are already running on fumes here, but I can pull some string and get your vital fluid filtered, seeing as it's an emergency. She turns to Wangxi and says with a heavy heart, "Or you can think of another way, Dr. Wangxi." Well, isn't that ominous? I'll take the filter for now. She nods. Squeezing her way through the crowded corridor, she quickly returns with her vital fluid filter. Together, she and Wangxi hook up Chrome to the machine. I recommend you get him out of here as soon as possible. She quietly whispers to Wangxi as they hook up to the machine. Why? He won't get help, if you know what I mean. If you ask why, all I can say is that the hospital is running out of supplies. I'll be in trouble if I say any more. She clears her throat after hooking up the machine. I've got work to do. If you think of another way, just leave the filter here. I'll come get it later. Thank you. She nods, then disappears behind a corner marked Star of Life. Is this the only way? We need to replace his dying parts now, so that he has a chance to survive and recover. But there aren't any available maintenance rooms or suitable parts. What about somewhere else, like A29? I thought about that too, but what the hell does it mean? In puzzle games, this sort of code normally represents a password, location, or a particular spot in a large set of data. Thank God we have a gaming expert. The captain couldn't have left us a clue about something none of us know about, like a lock. The closest building related to A29 is a shop. Then it only leaves one possibility. The directory? Before they had arrived at this conclusion, they had been peering over the directory looking for people to call for help. It seems so obvious now. After the two reach a consensus, they quickly take out Chrome's terminal. Column number 29. Hey, 28 and 29 are both Asimov. Let's give it a try. Wangxi presses the number in the directory. However, no one answers their last glimmer of hope. As the dial tone continues to ring, a rare bud of sweat appears on Wangxi's forehead. If I can get the replacement parts for this frame, I can try to replace them here. Want to contact the captain's father? He rarely talks about his family, but I've heard others mention him. It's rare to see Kamui this serious. Wangxi looks up for a moment. I've heard some rumors. But did you see the situation just now? They've obviously taken the captain's father into account. I think we should keep trying to reach Asimov. Wangxi presses the name in the directory once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Suddenly there's a prompt to connect with them from the other end. Asimov! Who did we just scream at? There's nothing in front of the communication monitor except the young scream. Sorry, I shouldn't have connected Mr. Asimov's comlink without his permission, but it kept ringing. Who's there? Forget it, doesn't matter. Do you know where he is? What? It does matter. My name's Rosa. I came to ask Mr. Asimov a few things. Judging from her childish voice and being unable to reach the camera, the girl had to be 6 or 7 years old at most. He's not here. I think he's hiding so he can continue his research. We've got an emergency. Where is he exactly? An emergency. Go to Zone B3 of the Science Council. That's where he goes to, so no one bothers him. B3 is the new research building on the of the Science Council, which is fairly close to the Star of Life. Let's go. A ray of hope shines on the beleaguered faces. Also a word I've never seen before. Kamui picks up Chrome again and rushes to the shuttle outside. Did you at least disconnect him from whatever he was connected to before you did that? The shuttle quickly turns into Zone B3. There's a young girl standing in front of the stairs of the building. Hi, I'm Rosa. You said it was an emergency, so I followed you here to see if I can help. Mr. Asimov should be in the sealed lab. Sealed lab? Yeah, Mr. Asimov doesn't like being bothered, so... She explains obediently, but begins to get nervous as I see Kamui's anxious face. Sorry, follow me. Rosa races into the building and up the emergency stairwell at nearly Mach 1, banging on a wall around the corner. Intentionally? Mr. Asimov! Rosa's voice trembles with a slight whimper. The crashing of various research equipment comes from the desk of the sealed lab. Arriving upstairs, Asimov stares at Wangchi with kind of dark circles of brilliance under his eyes as he's packing up the things he had just knocked over. Wangchi wants to ask, so someone can scare Asimov, huh? But he has more pressing issues. Say for Captain Asimov. He looks at Chrome, who's gravely injured in Kami's arms, and his face turns pale. Come with me. Asimov hurries into the sealed lab. Rosa stands there timidly and waves as if choosing not to follow him. This might not be the AR, but your timing couldn't be better. I've been working to fix the remaining problems with Chrome's frame since this morning. Sorry I left my terminal in the workshop. People kept disrupting me. I just so happened to fix the issue that's been giving me trouble all this time. Asimov pushes open the door, takes Chrome from Carmen and places him on a maintenance table. Wangchi, give me a hand. Give me a hand. Give me a hand! Is that a mistake or is that literally? Wangchi nods, then immediately begins attaching various instruments near the table to Chrome. What about me? I presume you're rather useless now, but thank you very much. I still need to confirm some things. Grab my terminal. Rosa may have taken it with her. Terminal. Go. Roger. My. Project Winter. If we ever settle this, we will need a talented commander to help us build a future for humans. Okay. In the glare of white light, Chrome opens his eyes. The scene and sounds before him are like a false curtain of night. It is chaotic and difficult to distinguish. A familiar figure is standing to the side, silently watching him on the maintenance table. Dead. In his oh my god, I hate this word. Discombobulated memory, Chrome's subconscious utters a name. As he comes to his senses, he realizes what he had said. Mr. Smith. I've already received a report from your comrades. But we need to report it to our superiors. Wangchi's already taken care of that. Hassan was really bent out of shape over the news about Vonnegut. Good job, everyone. A new agent is troubling news. Enough. Let's discuss the mission later. Give me a minute with Chrome. I need to speak to him privately. Huh? Carmen is reluctant to leave, but Wangchi manages to push him out of the sealed lab. Before you do, I need to sync the current research progress. Once you leave, I'll add an inhibitor to Chrome's frame. Asimov points to the new frame's neck. Don't worry about where it's located. That's the most effective spot. It may not be an invert device, but don't remove it all willy-nilly. Okay, whatever. I can help you stabilize your mind and reduce the probability of deviation and corruption. Even if you encounter high-intensity interference, it will prevent you from losing control when your mind becomes corrupted from memory deviation or other symptoms. Glory is now capable of handling daily operations. In the future, you can link with your comrades just as before. You just need to know one thing. The risk has decreased significantly, but it doesn't mean it's as safe as Arclight. How low is the probability? For daily activities around Babylonia, the risk is oh my god, what's with all these words? Stop it! Infinitesimal. I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, I give up. However, if your mind deviates after being damaged or hacked by the enemy in battle, you will be more susceptible to corruption. If your corruption reaches a critical level, you'll need a commander that can resist these symptoms in order to stabilize your mind. Understood. But there doesn't seem to be any commanders that can resist memory corruption. Do you really understand? Seem to be, correct? This serious injury still isn't enough for you to recognize the limitations of constructs? I mean, it's not like he has any other choice, yeah? As I said, if you can adapt to a specialized frame without any injury, then I will accept your choice. But by the looks of it, you seem to be willing to pay an even greater price. I once said the commandant was indeed a useful thing, but now that's changed. Do you remember our chess match? You said to me, if you choose to abandon your troops, the war will end faster. You taught me to look to the future while watching the present. I'm using my own method to collect useful things and create a future of my choosing. And is that to use everything you have to surpass Smith? Correct. I refuse to abandon past events and my past self. Most importantly, I refuse to abandon a single soul. This redemption is my own. Once you get involved in this vortex, your battle will spread from the battlefield to every corner of your life. The cage of sight, the noose of language, and the abyss of power will come for you as you gasp for air at night. Do you think humans that don't have to go into battle... What? Do you think humans that don't have to go into battle live a life of leisure? Even the undefeated commander is bound by these invisible ropes. Seeing his father, who had always been strict, show a solemn expression, Crum gently grabs his hand. You have such a weird relationship, which is understandable. I am already in the eye of the vortex. The moment I decided to become Crow and serve as a bridge, I was ready to pay double the price. Crow, all I cared about were method and results. I've never asked you about your reasons. You know the consequences of stepping into the eye of the vortex. Why do it? For the sake of change. I remember what someone said about change when your procedure succeeded. Whether you become the blade or the blade wielder, having the determination to join the battlefield. It's getting too much. Having the determination to join the battlefield will result in the same fate. I tell you the same thing. Whether the blade depends on its wielder, or the wielder depends on their blade, both rely on what is useful, nearest to them. You never disappoint me, Chrome. Whatever. Thank you for your prize. Thank you for your guidance. I heard Mr. Azimuth say that the first transfer to a specialized frame has a high risk of causing the mind to delve into chaos. So the commander is key to this operation. Correct. Leave it to me. Don't want you going solo again. But Mr. Smith, think of it as a gift for proving your determination. And as far as I know, a lot of people are being driven by a variety of reasons to free the commandant. I'm just going to deliver the last piece of the puzzle. Oh my god, hi. I feel like I should decorate the office to accommodate as many visitors. Collins, I came here to discuss something with you. Oh, discuss what? We've got an urgent mission. And the commander is in stable condition. I don't think there's any need to continue observation. Seems like all of my guests are here for the same reason today. The commandant's mind beacon has, in fact, been polluted. You don't want a repeat of what happened to Revenge, right? In that regard, I'll have the commander get treatment in the Star of Life. No need to bother your man. President Hassan! He smiled sardonically, stressing each word. Aren't we partners? Don't be ridiculous. Besides, once we have enough evidence, this matter should be handed over to a person with greater expertise. Even if the commandant's mind beacon is polluted without causing any corruption, the commander is a ticking time bomb. If those accusations stick, what price are you willing to pay for your actions? Stick? Have you found Luna? Of course not. We are powerless to do such a thing. Who do you think we are, Grey Raven? Whether that be the previous Grey Raven or this Grey Raven, they all have something to do with the Ascendants. Even if those slackers under my command captured the Ascendant, she'd be rescued in no time. Fine. I'll take responsibility for whatever happens. Oh, are you willing to act as guarantor for the Commandant? That's right. Colin's smile is fixed firmly on his face. Alright, very well. Seems like you've got something up your sleeve if you're willing to make such a decision. Well, I guess I should tip my hat to you then. Since I have your word, I'll let the Commandant go for the time being. Considering you and the others came all this way today. However, quitting isn't exactly my forte. If we can finally close the book on this matter, I'll welcome the talented Commandant to help us create a future for humans. I mean, that's definitely not your goal. And also you have never voiced that in any way, shape or form, so screw you. After more than 2 days in this blinding light, right as your cognition begins to blur, the door opens once again. You're free to go, Commandant. Is the confined treatment over? I can't say for sure. Anyhow, you're free to go for the time being. That smirk. Seeing you struggled from exhaustion, Celica escorts you to the regional shuttle en route to Zone B3 of the Science Council. Hessen is sitting in the cabin as it's waiting for you. You made it, Commandant. I've got good news and bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? Bad, please. The bad news is, even though you no longer need to have confined treatment, you are still under observation. They'll be watching you every move from here on out. But it feels like everyone is getting that treatment recently. But at least you're no longer stuck in that room. The main reason you were let go is because you need it for a mission only you can perform. Hassan and Celica quickly fill you in on the recent events. Krim is injured. Correct, we're short-staffed and new issues keep popping up. I was able to get you out because I also want you to help Crow maintain mind stability until the frame transfer is complete. Until the frame transfer. According to Strikehawk's intel, the new agent is incredibly dangerous. We should avoid engaging him though, since we're still recovering from the last large-scale battle. Which is bad because he already started the offensive, so... The Red Tide also poses an issue. Based on Wangshi's report, the Red Tide in the underground waterway has been diluted, but it's still of considerable size. We've confirmed that a core fragment has been destroyed. Whether there's some other force controlling it, or there's just some weird residual liquid incapable of expanding, it still needs to be destroyed. We've wasted enough time already. If we wait any longer, that will just mean more trouble down the line. Do we still need to deploy bit domain nodes? Why would we do that? No, I've spoken with Asimov, and we've determined that a tactical unit will be more effective at conducting a precision strike underground. The structure's interior isn't particularly large, and the amount of red tide doesn't justify the use of the Longinus arsenal. The structure's interior isn't particularly large. Are we still talking about the same structure? Because that one was huge. More importantly, we can't play a number game with bit domain nodes against such a dangerous enemy. Strikehawk is familiar with the area, but Chrome's new frame is still being field tested in active combat. The mission poses too great of a risk without your help, Commander. Understood. Consider that you may encounter that agent again. I haven't seen him. I suggest you take a member of Grey Raven with you. Cover your tracks and avoid direct confrontation with the enemy. Only one person. According to Kamei Wangshi's intel, the area is quiet and narrow. Additional members will only be disadvantageous. You and Strikehawk will also be accompanied by a completely independent team during the mission. Okay. Don't worry about them. Just mind your own area. One more thing. 21 conscripts were assembled as part of an auxiliary team to investigate the surrounding area. However, their transport craft was destroyed and they sought refuge in the underground city. Rescue them if you still got enough strength in you. 21 conscripts were assembled. That sounds like they were just created out of nowhere. Understood. If there are no further questions, I'll have Celica inform Lucia to wait by the transport craft. How did you just decide my partner for me? What about Lee? Based on team composition and compatibility, Lucia is the most suitable candidate. Wait, who is coming with us? Apart from Chrome? The whole Strikeout team? I guess but Lee's an attacker too. Whatever. We needed an attacker, we have an attacker. Hassan and Celica fall silent. After a 10-minute drive, the three of you arrive at Asimov's sealed lab. Entering the sealed lab, Chrome is laying quietly on the maintenance table as if asleep. He's still conscious. I've put his frame into sleep mode to prevent any further corruption and damage. However, I still need him to confirm a few things, so I've kept the voice and audio module operational in this arc-like frame. I can give you 10 minutes if there's anything you need to say. Ask about his condition. My mind is stable. It shouldn't cause you any trouble. I mean, are you in pain? I'll get used to it. You have already gotten used to it once and it was a very bad idea. You. Only if necessary. Yeah. You mean to keep your mind stable? Chrome nods slightly. His injuries had already pushed his frame past its limit. All he can do now is rely on those machines to maintain consciousness. Sorry for dragging you on a mission right as you leave the prison. That's true. Not that I fall asleep. Seems like a bad idea. No need to apologize. You fulfilled your promise. But hearing the news about the specialized frame from Hassan, a sense of uneasiness fills your mind. Even with Asimov's breakthrough, Glory is still far from stable. As if affected by a memory replay, Lucia's blank gaze after transferring frames flashes before your eyes. There's still a lot we don't know about the frame. Are you sure you want to change your frame now? That's why I have you. And one day when I'm not there? If we're on different missions? You run the risk of mind deviation. Then allow me to come find you. Chrome's voice remains soft, but it has a tone of unquestionable firmness. Are you really going to be able to find me? Of course. I have several backup plans just in case. You hear a sense of uneasiness in his voice as if he had sensed something. If you let me, that is. I'll take the extra help. Thank you. Hold his hand. As if to give him some peace of mind, you gently hold Chrome's hand. Time is of the essence. Let's begin. This is the second time I've conducted a specialized frame transfer. At least this one happens in a lab. The last one was kind of very spontaneous. Asimov has a stern look on his face. We've made a breakthrough with the technology, but there's a higher degree of uncertainty compared to Plume. How can it be higher than that? Plume was basically a disaster. In order to avoid mind deviation, you'll need a more integrated connection with Chrome than a standard link. Okay. And how do I do that? I use this machine to allow you to deep dive into his mind and establish an internal link. Okay. It will allow you to see his thoughts and condition in real time. That sounds like a major distraction. Does Chrome know? I told him before you got here. You just need to hold on while the link is being established. After that, it will stabilize. If you don't have any questions, lie down on the spare maintenance table over there. Let's just line us up here. Understood. Bring him back. Before you can ask what Asimov meant, the memory falls into darkness. Cute. Falling into Chrome's chaotic mind, all you can see is a little boy wandering aimlessly. That's very fitting. Who am I? Where am I? Although there was no answer to these basic questions, he steps forward into the darkness. Alright, understood. As if following an order. Did I pass? As if trying to reach a target. I won't let you down. As if stuck in a cage. Quite literally. Gather everything that is of use, put them together, then create a perfect me. As if scavenging through despair. Useless, like, be grateful or else. He's an idealist. Assembly passed. With each step, countless dreamy voices echo in the dark void. Although you cannot fully comprehend what they are talking about, you can sense the melody just from the fragments you heard. Become a smith. Become a smith. As he walked through these unpleasant noises, his footsteps began to falter more and more. I can become... His image begins to blur. But who am I? The boy begins to shake violently. If it continues, he will gradually lose his self-awareness. But in this state, he can't even notice the mind being above. Who am I? The boy's voice is trembling in a steady stream of noise. I'm... Chrome. Chrome. This is your future name. Future name. You will become Chrome. Become the man you want to be. Like finding a glimmer of hope in the tenebrous depths of Melith, he begins to look around for the source of the voice. Walk toward the mind beacon. The mind beacon. He inspects his surroundings, but there is no mind beacon to be found. Look up, Chrome. Oh, it's up there. The boy holds out his hand as if to chase the distant star. With a bitter smile, he leaps. Thank you. The dark void begins to materialize into a magnificent hall. Hello, Commandant. If you're here, that means the frame transfer isn't over yet. Illusion of flowers and fruit surround him, but no one is present. You seem to be lucid. Sorry, I don't know what just happened, but I'm sorry for being a bird. Even though this place is... Forget it, it's nothing. Our internal link is stable. I won't experience any memory deviation now. It's nothing. But you still need to wait a bit longer. Why not chat to pass the time? Sure. Why did you want to help me? Because helping you is also a form of helping myself. You could have waited longer. But every second I wait, that's one more second I fall behind. I need to achieve my goal. And what's that? Before I answer that, let me ask you something. Do you think there's a difference between humans and constructs? I mean, yes, but also no. No. Not many humans think that. He walks straight through the illusion of flowers and decorations. Humans fear the combatability of constructs. Individuals without real power can easily be used as tools. Rumors, prejudices, arrogance. If humans go on like this, they will only go further toward destruction. I've already seen countless examples and experienced them firsthand. I'm sure you feel the same way. You're right. But contradictions also have cause and effect. If these rumors and prejudices are the final effect, we cannot solve all this without understanding the root cause. Saying this to Chrome, he smiles and nods. That's why I want to get involved and understand its cause. Only then can I solve it. Can you really though? As long as we know a little about history, we find that humans repeat their mistakes no matter what era. Yeah, I mean, that's my thought as well. Isn't the cause just humanity itself? But these mistakes are meaningless so long as progress is made. Looking at his firm expression, you randomly recall a passage of a story you frequently come across. Overcoming countless adversities and witnessing just as many lay down their lives, the intrepid heroes continue to search for hope on this most harrowing journey. Most people did not know that this journey would be unworthy of adulation. From the moment they set forth, they were doomed to a life entangled in shadows. I'm afraid you will get dragged into this. Don't worry, this is the opportunity I need. You have always been a gift to me. Well, that's cute. He looks at you quietly and says nothing more. He remains quiet until the magnificent hall begins to fade into the fog. Looks like the transfer is almost complete. Chrome. He nods. Even if the pair of your shoes is fraught with hardships. Even if you can't save everyone. Are you still holding onto that glimmer of hope? On this most harrowing journey. As your vision begins to blur, an unwavering smile forms on Chrome's face. Aren't you adorable?
そうだ。望むとも。たとえどんな代価を払おうとも、絶対に立ち止まりはしない。行こう。
It's a warm light. In the turbulent darkness, Chrome sees the warm light of a lighthouse. In order to solve what will happen next, I must set out now. Everyone's waiting. They sure are. Regaining consciousness once more, you see the familiar lights overhead. You? Me? What? However, there's a slight change in their position. Why? Why did someone move me? Oh, who am I right now in this instance? So it's Chrome. Okay, I am Chrome in this case. Okay. Chrome looks at the people around him. That would also explain the change in lights. Aside from Asimov, he sees Wangxi, who had been helping the entire time, calmly standing nearby, because he's sadly useless in this scenario. And also the commandant. In front of the unlocking crowd, he raises a hand with inconceivable ease and grips strength. His arm feels as light as a feather, but with the strength to pierce metal. However, an unusual disturbance suddenly arises. Chrome knows that this feeling is the precursor to mind deviation. Such a disturbance is likely to appear within the first few minutes of frame transfer. If this continues, he will quickly lose control over his frame. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, then focuses on the mind beacon in his mind. Morning. After Chrome's mind begins to gradually stabilize, he smiles and opens his eyes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you too, Commandant. All I did was lucky around, Captain. Wish I could have been of more use, though, obviously. Kami shrugged his shoulders with a look of resignation. Oh, I also told Kamo about your situation, Captain. I didn't want him to worry. But if anyone deserves the gratitude, it's Wangxi. He walks over and pats Wangxi. He walks over and pats Wangxi on his shoulder. Thanks, Wangxi. No need to thank me. Asimov was a real hero. Everyone's modesty comes off a bit stiff, but Chrome still feels grateful for their efforts. All I care about is results. Progress like this is hard to come by. Heaving a sigh of relief, Asimov slumps down in his chair from exhaustion. This poor guy needs to sleep. Don't you all have a mission coming up? Yep, we have to take care of the Red Tide and rescue some stragglers. Since we can't fight along as Asuna a second time, this should help you take care of the Red Tide. He points to a box that had just been brought in, containing hundreds of disc-shaped objects. What the heck? This is a compact weapon, developed based on the concept of a plasma arc furnace, called a polyfurnace. Its niche application prevents it from seeing much use out in the field. Niche application. It requires large amounts of energy in the sealed environment. This means the waterway is an ideal environment. As long as we find a suitable installation site, we can maximize the evaporation of the red tide below. Sounds like a plan. I made some modifications, but it still requires a sealed environment. We got that. Thank you, Asimov. Asimov furrows his eyebrows and reiterates. If it's installed in an area full of leaks, you'll have to figure out a way to patch them. Hearing this, the Strikehawk trio is at a loss for words. Sounds like a pain when we try to evacuate. That's for you to figure out. I'm going to go somewhere secret where no one will bother me and rest for a few hours. Yes, you'd go and do that. That being said, let me know if there are any issues with the frame. That is not resting. That is not... Can we get going now? Can we go call Lee and the others? True. We should at least tell them, right? Let's go. Right on! Kami runs out of the room with the sheer delight of a golden retriever. Congratulations! You've reached a milestone in your research of specialized frames. Looks like all your hard work is finally starting to pay off. Don't break out the champagne just yet. Even though Crumb has a specialized frame just like Lucius, we're still having issues with the same bottleneck. Oh? The reason why Plume can withstand simulation data from Ascendance is that it's already compatible with Alpha's data. The dangers and effects of substituting it into another frame don't meet our expectations. But yeah, that's a question I did have. Did we also upload Ascendant data into Glory? And if so, why exactly? That's why Crumb's frame uses post-processed battle data sampled from Plume. Okay, that sounds even more complicated. In order to minimize the side effects, I based the underlying logic on humanoid hybrid frames to accommodate and restrict extraneous data. That sounds even more complicated. Why would you add the dangers of humanoid hybrids into this frame? That sounds like it makes it even more chaotic. But this frame will still put immense strain on Crumb's memory. I see. Even if you obtain the data they bring back, replicating an Ascendant is still nothing more than a pipe dream. Oh, we're trying to replicate Ascendants. But wouldn't Camo be a better base for that? Question mark. That being said, even if we are able to improve our ability to replicate a construct with Ascendant data based on humanoid hybrid architecture, that would still be a huge leap for us. Yeah, that would be a huge leap because it doesn't sound logical, but you do you. How's Lucia been recently? There's nothing out of the ordinary based on the reports from her routine frame maintenance. I'm looking through the data collected by Xiaomi to create an upgraded plan, but that will take some time. For the sake of safety, it's better to add an insurance policy other than it commanded. Compared with immersion, technology and knowledge are more reliable. I think that's where you are wrong, but you know. If necessary, I can borrow some equipment left over from the Project Winter. Oh no, true, that's what this mission was called, right? Or this chapter piece right here. Didn't that cause enough trouble as is? Yeah, what is Project Winter? But there's no denying that it also brought a lot of benefits. Let's talk about these things in private. Asimov has been walking around the clock. Yes, let the man sleep. Please, thank you. Okay, that's too much reading. So we will take a break here. That's the other thing. The commandant also has been awake for what, 2 days now? That sounds like a terrible idea. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.